this. Louder than expected. Yeah, I tried playing Disco Elysium some months ago, and it's just not my speed. It feels very grimy. Venice. Chapter 1, into your hands. And we are playing a different game. What is this? Prescription. What? I have prescription pills, a wallet, a smartphone, and extra strength aspirin. I felt like I wasn't playing the other game very well, so switching it up. Rector's Antiques.
Malachi, you're back.
Just landed.
Are you alright? What did the doctors say?
Lots of bruising, but there's no permanent damage. Don't fuss.
Malachi, you were in the hospital in Spain for a week. A man who evaluates antiques for a living should not have to worry about getting beaten by thugs.
The chest Senor Perez was trying to sell was a fake.
Thought I changed the game, did I not save
It's hardly my fault he
it?
took my evaluation badly.
You need to take security on these jobs. Some of these sellers are dangerous people, and you excel at pushing people's buttons.
I'm honest, and that's precisely why my clients hire me. Is there any urgent business?
I have a few things to fill you in on. Let me know when you've had a chance to settle in.
His back is very curved. Okay. Talk, operate. Look at that. That posture. That dusty floor.
My suitcase. I can't forget I have my passport in the pocket.
Yes, his passport in the pocket.
I'll take my passport with me.
Can I steal
Gretchen's
from Gretchen?
desk is more cosmetic than functional. She does most of her work on a tablet. A gilded Jerome figurine. Quite rare.
That's why we have it out in the open, unprotected.
All of our items are one of a kind and in excellent condition. I do have a reputation to maintain. Sometimes our customers bring in items for my appraisal. They're kept tucked away behind the screen so no one tries to buy them.
Nobody ever looks behind the
Is there anything in the alcove that urgently needs my appraisal?
Not at the moment, no.
We're right on 7th Avenue. Excellent visibility and good foot traffic. But most of the walk-ins take one look at the price tags and quietly leave. Fortunately, most of our business comes from private clients.
He's very British, yes.
We're right on 7th Avenue. Excellent visibility and good foot traffic. But fortunately, most of our business...
What else is on 7th Avenue?
That cabinet is worth a bloody fortune.
Is that a real avenue?
It's utterly unique. The objects in those security boxes are especially valuable. Gretchen gets them down if a serious buyer is interested.
How can they see them?
I have a sneaking suspicion Gretchen keeps gold and bronze objects behind her because of the way they bring out her hair.
That's fair.
That cornucopia is made of solid gold.
Speaking of which.
A, ch-
She.
a chinois clock. They usually don't last long in the store.
Because they fall with the hooks. Oh. I just left.
The desk looks good and is functional, but it doesn't have a particularly interesting history.
These look like the uncomfiest chairs. My goodness. Like the kind that you just like slide out of. Stock market continues dangerous dive. Giuseppe Barozzi.
It's a letter from Mr. Barozzi, an antique dealer
Or
in Venice.
Barozzi.
He has a brilliant eye for interesting pieces. He's a little quaint. He insists on sending snail mail.
Dear Mr. Rector, I hope this letter finds you and your shop in good health and good fortune. Recently, a unique figurine has come into my hands which I think will be of interest to you. Though I am not certain of its origins, I believe it may be Celtic. I hope you are able to come by the next time you are in Venice to take a look. I'll keep it set aside for the time being. Sincerely, Giuseppe Barozzi.
The bleak economy seems to be all the newspapers can talk about these days.
European economic collapse by 2014, echoing the United States' own precarious economic situation. Europe is in similar dire straits. The value of the euro has been declining in parallel with the dollar since early this year, and the closing of 2 major banks in the last 6 months has led experts to declare that a collapse is inevitable in the coming year, continued on page 6. The New York Stock Exchange closed at another dangerous low yesterday, and speculations for today are not favorable. Experts are already saying that if things don't turn around, this could lead us to another Great Depression era. All eyes are on the White House and demanding both answers and a strong financial plan to ensure that this crisis is halted and contained before it can gain real ground, continued on page 2. He doesn't know how to open newspapers, so he only ever sees the front. Oh. Did I tell him to do that? Or he's just like, he's heard about me, how I play games, and he's just preparing himself. That's fair.
I don't use my computer like I used to. Everything is on my phone these days. I'd rather use my phone. The chair's more modern than the rest of the furniture, much more comfortable that way. I'd rather stand. I sit far too much when I'm traveling. It's an original sculpture by an upcoming artist. It should be a good return on investment someday.
Someday.
I keep some of my favorite objects in my office. That doesn't mean I wouldn't part with them for the right price.
I think it said 2014 was upcoming. So, it's not the 2008.
I find it best to have my clients associate me with interesting but unusual finds. The artwork is all chosen for that purpose, and I change it every few months.
This ship. Interesting. Unusual. Nobody's ever seen a painting of a ship before.
I find it best to have my clients... I've always liked the sense of isolation in that painting. I find it best to have... I find it best...
Why is this one special?
Dogon masks from Molly.
Yeah, I don't know what... I just...
The bleak economy seems to be all the new...
By 2014. How did I... No, exit.
The couch is for the rare times I have a client visit me here. No, thank you.
No.
Fine china from the early 19th century. In case I have visitors, as unlikely as that may be. I keep some of my favorite objects in my office. That doesn't mean I wouldn't part with them for the right price.
The rug ties the room together.
The window faces an alley, such as Manhattan. I keep the blinds drawn.
Okay.
Gretchen Stern, my shop manager. She's efficient and intelligent, very good at what she does. Unfortunately, she can act overly familiar at times. I don't need mothering, or girlfriending, or anything for that matter. We should catch up on what's been going on while I was away.
Let's do it.
So what's the next assignment?
You just got here. You probably haven't even been to your penthouse yet.
That wasn't the question.
Penthouse.
Fine. There's a supposedly undiscovered Rembrandt in Rome for Sotheby's, and 2 pieces in Egypt for Rutherford's.
Take them both.
Malachi, you just got out of the hospital. You should let your body rest, at least long enough to get used to a time zone.
She has
With
so
the
many
economy in the
teeth.
gutter, there are a lot of desperate people right now. Desperate enough to sell Grandma's Harrington or create a good forgery. I might as well make the money while I can.
Grandma's
You're
Harrington.
driving yourself too hard. Your body needs...
What my body needs is no concern of yours.
No. Thanks for reminding me. There was also a new client who called. Something about a government contract.
You said in your email that you've been looking into security options?
I made a list of the reputable security agencies in New York. You should have a bodyguard travel with you. With the money you earn on these assignments, you can afford it.
No, they'd only get in the way and be tiresome. I prefer to travel alone.
Fine.
Didn't you just get
There are
mugged?
other options.
What?
Who is this new client?
Amble Dexter, 452 Central Park West. He wouldn't say what it was about, just that he needed someone with your expertise.
If you wouldn't even say what it's about, then it's not worth my time following up.
Well, it is a very upscale address, but do as you please.
What other options do you
What if it's
have
like
for
the
security?
dumpster outside
I've been
of that
researching
address?
security agencies in various international cities. I can set someone up when you travel, have them meet you at the airport.
I can't trust someone I've just met. How could I be sure they weren't already bought off?
These are reputable agencies. You have to get over your trust issues.
No other brilliant ideas about security?
I have a report on where to buy guns in various countries. It's not a very good option, but it's better than going into a bad situation unarmed. And maybe the mere presence of a gun will remind you not to shoot off your mouth.
Gretchen.
I mean, give your fascinating opinion quite so freely.
All right. Maybe we'll try that next time.
I think this man needs therapy. He needs therapy. He needs to chill.
That's all for now.
Very well.
He maybe needs some hot tea.
My passport. I need to take these, or I can get into trouble.
What kind of trouble?
My wallet. I keep everything worth knowing on my phone. They help with the headaches. I'm going to go see Mr. Dexter.
Good. But tell him you can't travel anywhere for a few weeks.
I'll do nothing of the sort.
Good luck.
Ooh. Looks fancy. Beta?
Feta. That must be the logo of this company or agency or whatever it is.
Malachi can analyze objects and people to learn more about them. Each icon highlights a point of interest. Click on one to see the data point and select from the list of possible deductions based on what Malachi sees. Round logo implies tie to NASA logo. Fits better on packaging. Symbolized wholeness. Am I supposed to... Wait. What did I just read? Did I? Okay. Mobius strip. Deals with infinity or repetition, deals with magic, deals with snakes. Yeah. Acronym, government agency, charity agency, initials of founder. Fred is... totally awesome. Starburst deals with space, deals with Hollywood, deals with explosions. Not all matches are correct. Please double check your selections and try again. Dang it. Thank you for joining us, Tim. Have a good rest of your night. We'll be seeing you. Okay. Space. Government. Infinity, not magic. NASA. He liked that one more. Boring. This is a government agency that has to do with space. Role of Mobius strip unclear.
What is this place? It has some serious security measures.
Some lovely woodwork.
That man is not your average security guard. He looks serious.
Yeah, normally they have like big puffy wigs and red noses that squeak and a flower that squirts water.
I'm here to see Amble Dexter.
Your passport, please, sir.
They need some rugs in this place. Oh my god. Can I give it to him?
Here's my passport.
Oh, okay.
Welcome, Mr. Rector. You can go through to Mr. Dexter's office. Use the elevator, sir.
Thank you.
Posture reminds me of the vampires from Scary Godmother.
Mr. Rector. What a pleasure to finally meet you.
Mr.
I've heard
Rector.
about your remarkable talents.
Which I presume you'd like to rent in the near future.
Precisely. Please, come in and sit down. This is Mr. Reichart, my associate.
Mr. Rector?
Hello.
Before we discuss the job that we have in mind, I hope you won't object to a simple exercise.
Oh? I'm afraid I left my
we switched
performing
games,
monkey hat at home.
I was
Please don't
very
take it like
unfocused.
that. I think as a historian, you'll find it quite fascinating.
I'll
an
think about
historian.
it.
Ugh. Chair. Clock. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. George Santayana.
That's an interesting quote. It must have particular significance to Dexter.
He doesn't have a keyboard. Or is it one of those desks where the keyboard pulls out from underneath?
The flag bears the logo I saw in the lobby with the initials FITA. What does it stand for?
They were trying to spell pita, but ran out of ink. Like the bread. Never mind. Okay.
Dexter has an impressive view.
Better than your alleyway.
That photograph certainly helps one keep an eye on the big picture. I wonder if that's why Dexter has it there. That button operates the doors.
It's a big
A
coffee
couch
table.
and coffee table for less formal meetings, I suppose.
Think of all the
Clearly,
coffee
that's
you could
not
put
this
there.
one.
Look at that.
Reichart looks like the agency type. A ruthless little paperworm. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Ruthless little paper worm. Ooh, egg and cheese sandwich. That sounds nice.
Dexter is the man in charge. I'll address myself to him.
Thank you for reporting. always report food victories. I don't know what that means, but yes.
Dexter's desk is designed for easy wheelchair access, but it's much like any other beyond that. He keeps it tidy. Amble Dexter. He appears to run this place, whatever this place is. What is this exercise you mentioned?
Take a look at this man. Tell me if he reminds you of any specific person in history.
I read objects, not people, and this exercise is illogical.
Humor me, please. I've heard you have a photographic memory, and that your knowledge of history is beyond compare. I'm intrigued.
I'm not sure what Dexter hopes to gain from this exercise, but I am curious. I prefer to work on my phone. I'll scan in the man's bio.
What? Whoa. Another Giuseppe. Giuseppe Montesero, a young Italian painter and architect, a promising talent. He died a few years ago when his career was only just beginning. See if the life of Giuseppe Montesero resembles that of any historical figure. He was a talented Italian artist from a young age. He became quite a visionary in the field of architecture. Please press the analyze button to continue. Oh. Let me read. Better be Napoleon. It's not Napoleon. Maybe next time. His research and work formed the basis for much of today's environmentally friendly or green building design. Giuseppe was hired by the Vatican to implement his green designs on a new building. Giuseppe was known to have many female lovers. He was engaged for 5 years to a woman he didn't love. They were never married, and the engagement ended when she died. Giuseppe helped manage his father's business in his early teens and, surprisingly, excelled at it. Though respected by his peers, Giuseppe did not rise to any great fame or renown in his lifetime, partly due to his early death at the age of 36. Giuseppe had many friends and clients in the church who supported his work. Data point shows the most likely candidates from out. Why are we? Oh my God, he's right there. Bernini, Italian artist and sculptor known for the word of Proserpina and one of the David sculptures. He achieved a solid reputation as an artist in his early 20s. Can I just eliminate him? Botticelli, Italian painter known for the birth of Venus. Many of his works were passed off as his masters when he was training. Italian genius skilled in multiple areas, known for the Mona Lisa and the Vitruvian Man, among other accomplishments. Likely that many of his master's paintings were in fact his. Michelangelo, Italian artist skilled in many areas, most known for the Sistine Chapel paintings, his work in St. Peter's Basilica. As an apprentice, he was paid as a master artist. Raphael, Italian painter and architect, most known for his work on and in the Vatican. Oh, it's invisible. Was apprenticed at the age of 8 because of the promise he showed. What? Frank Lloyd Wright. Okay. Yeah, it's not Donatello. And it's not Frank Lloyd Wright. It's gotta be Raphael. Look at that hat. Rector analysis. Really, he just likes to put his name on things, doesn't he? Oh, do I have any games on here?
Nothing. That's extremely odd. It's an unusual name, but there's information on everyone on the internet, unless it was intentionally scrubbed. Future Intelligence Technology Agency. What does that mean? Hey, what on earth?
Hey!
I've never had a page deleted while I was viewing it. Very strange.
They specifically didn't want him to see it. Warning! This is the hint system. If you enter it, this will turn on hints for your game. No messages. Nobody wants to talk to us. Don't search Rabbit Camp on that thing. It won't let me do custom ones. You got lucky this time. Professor Reed.
I don't need to text him right now. I don't need to call him right now.
That's a good name for a professor. Unless he doesn't read. Oh. Too long. Manhattan, USA. It's 60 degrees.
Is
Your
this
ad's
a
starting in
joke?
minute.
Not at
Joke.
all. What do you see?
His biography reads like that of Raffaello Sanzio d'Arbino, the 15th century painter better known as Raphael.
You do not disappoint, Mr. Rector. Such a pleasure to finally meet you. Truly, I'm delighted.
Wonderful. Now perhaps we can discuss the job you have for me.
He has like so much white space above his irises. Okay, book time. Right, Joan. Joan was often in touch with Francis, sending notes and leaving messages with the concierge. Francis had been avoiding Joan, but increasingly she wished to unburden herself. They met for brunch one Sunday morning in early December. Are they saying I'm broke? They are. Joan chomped a piece of celery. Are you? Talk to old Joan. I am. And what does the word mean, broke? It means that I have nothing. And when you say nothing... Francis explained. Joan listened with perfect seriousness. And what? She said. What if I were to bring up the topic of a loan? Oh, but you mustn't do that. What about a gift? Would that be better or worse? Either one would be the same ugly thing. Would you please bend on this? No, Joan said. Plan is coming to me. Francis waited, watching. Possibly it's idiotic, Joan continued. But it's an option, and the more of those you have, the better, isn't that right? Francis waited still. My Paris apartment. I haven't been in, a year and a half? And it's just sitting there. Francis was nodding. She understood the proposition and was wondering whether or not to bother hiding her shame. Joan took up her friend's hand. Don't rush to think of it in any one light, darling. It's only sensible. Sensible, said Francis. Sensible. Sensible. Francis was experiencing the phenomenon of a familiar word losing its meaning. Sensible. Sensible. Sublime. Celery is disgusting. I don't trust this Joan. What kind of... What? How dare you? Very suspicious. Joan felt outraged. She pinched Francis's arm hard. Francis mouthed an ow, but made no sound. She wrapped the top of Joan's hand with the scoop of her spoon. Ow, said Joan, and they both sat back in their chairs. What kind of interaction was that? Francis rubbing her arm, Joan her hand, each watching the other with a sober expression. The waiter appeared and they ordered their lunch and a bottle of wine. They ate their lunch and drank their wine, and then came a second bottle, which they also drank. Paris was not decided, but it began to look rosier, for it was viable, and as a plan it possessed at least a measure of style. They spoke of the city in youthful, romantic terms. They'd both been in love, and both had been loved in Paris. Blah, 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 blah. They'd both been in love, and both had been loved in Paris, France. I'm sorry. Okay. Joan expressed jealousy at the thought of Francis's moving there permanently, or semi-permanently, and Francis accepted this at the start, but when it went on too long, she said it was beneath them, this banter, and that they should approach the event for what it was. "Which is what?" said Joan. "What are we calling